in this society, sometimes we see some of the most insidious behavior that women show towards one another, the quote-unquote what they call cattiness, which is really kind of a derogatory statement within itself, but it's just a lot of insidious intention. And I love to see women who are just loving each other and cooperating and building together and sharing their interests with one another. With women that I deal with, I make it very clear that I'm not interested in woman world. So I don't want to hear anything about some shoes you found today or some scarf you made. I love the mystique of a woman. I love just seeing you in the shoes. I'll always reference the women to the other one, like, no, go talk to her about that. And just like I'm not going to bring you into man world. I'm not going to talk about, oh, I'm outside working on a truck and I'm up under there in grease and the oil pan bolt stripped out. And first of all, when I come in to the house and I got oil on me, I can see the look in their faces. They're proud. And also when a car is not acting right or not starting, and I'm able to go underneath it and fix it. So we're able to maintain that mystique. So, I think that the relationships amongst the women are very valuable. But what I wanted to speak about with that in mind as a precursor is the relationship amongst men. What are some of the key points that you think men can and should bring to each other, and even in a monogamous marriage? What is the value of brotherhood?
Well, first of all, it creates a cultural standard among men, and it ensures that we create an atmosphere of safety and camaraderie between the brothers, and also it can create strength of economy, and I'm talking financial economy in this aspect, because we can trust one another. There should be such an air of respect for your fellow man that you would never take his wife, for instance. And you see a lot of this now, even in North America. People want to get off into this freaky stuff like wife swapping in polygamous families and swinging, and it's like, nah, that's not promoting brotherhood, because you are defiling another man's wife. Okay, and it should be to the point. And I've been in a situation where I didn't know I was over a friend's house, and I didn't know he had left out for a second, and he was gone. In fact, he was in the country. He left an hour, and I didn't realize this woman was still in the house. She was actually in his bedroom, and she came out, and I heard somebody moving, and I kind of jumped up for a second because I didn't know she was in the house, and she was there, and she was ready. She came out, she was out in the living room, and there was no thought in my mind to try to get at his woman. There was no thought even on her part to disrespect him by trying to come at me. And that happened with another one of his women. He had to go, he actually went to get some food on another occasion, and I think a couple of his children were there, and he left his woman there. But because we trust each other so much, nobody's trying to get at each other's woman like that. Now, if that was anybody else, they probably would have been feeling a certain way by leaving the woman there. That's a big thing right there that we have to understand, that you don't touch another man's woman. You don't call her. You don't try to get at her. You don't, call her baby or anything endearing like that. You don't ask her personal questions about his home. That's his home. And you don't talk to his woman when you enter his home unless he gives permission and he leads you to that. Like, hey, you remember my consort such and so. There are standards.
Right.
And we have to create standards. I do talk about that in the second volume.